Hi, welcome. This video is going to talk about surface area of a cylinder. You can see a cylinder on our screen right there. It's kind of like your typical soup can, that sort of thing. The surface area doesn't mean we're filling it. Filling it would be volume, and we're not going to do volume in this video. Surface area would be, well, to carry the analogy of a can, the metal part. What is the metal part? What are the measurements? What is the area of just that metal part with nothing filled inside of it? It means the top and the bottom and that circular side portion as well. There is a formula. Some books and some videos show like find the area of the top, then find the area of the bottom, then find the area of the walls. So you could take this, and the walls and then add them all up. The way that I'm going to do this is just with the formula. So let's just talk about that. So for surface area, the formula is the 2 pi r squared. That is actually represents the area of the top and the bottom. Plus, to that we add 2 pi RH. And there's plenty of videos out there that will show you where this formula comes from. I just want to try to keep the videos short and sweet. And then that. If you're kind of, I don't know, I've run across some students who they see a complex formula like this and they start to freak out. They're like, can't you just make it simpler? So if you happen to fall into that category, there's another way to tackle this. What we can do is we can factor out the 2 in the pi. This isn't the final factored out. And again, if you just like this top one, just use that. If we factor out the 2 and the pi, that leaves us with r squared plus RH. And what I can actually do is kind of simplify this. 2 pi, most of the times you use pi as 3.14. So 2 times 3.14 gives us 6.28. So if that helps, if you're kind of one of those students or people that are like, just simplify it for me. The reason why this might be easier for you is that all you have to do is once you know the radius and the height, you just do this part, add them together, and then multiply by 6.28. So that could be a little bit easier for you. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's jump into some problems here. So we have a blue cylinder here. What are the parts that we're looking for? This is the radius. It is halfway across the top circle. And the height is the distance between the top and the bottom. And in this case, it's 9 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with the longer formula at the top. So the surface area for this is 2, and again, we're just going to use 3.14 times all of, for all of these problems rather. The radius is 3. We're going to need to square it. And then plus 2, there's 3.14. Our radius is still 3, and the height was, what was it, 9. All right, so I'm a teacher, obviously, so I'm writing out this big, long thing in red. But honestly, I encourage my students to write it out too. Write it all out. Don't grab your calculator first. Write it out. Now grab your calculator and type it in. I'm not sure about phone calculators so much, but most of the like scientific calculators, the TI-83s, all those, will do the order of operations for you. So if you're becoming a student that's in high school, it really is in your best interest to be able to know how to type that all in at once, hit enter, and let the calculator do all the work for you. I know that might sound a little backwards, like no, use your brain power, but we're talking pi here. So typing it in all at once is a good thing for you to know how to do. And do I have one handy? I absolutely do. So as I type this all in, let's see. I'm going to just take a second. And then times. All right, so when you do all this out, you should get 226.08. And what are the units? Well, we have inches here in this 3 and inches here in the 9. So when we multiply inches with inches, we're actually going to get inches squared. What I tell my high school students is there's one way to kind of remember. I used to get really confused when I was a kid. I would memorize it for a test and then forget. So whenever we're looking for anything that's area, whether it's surface area, lateral area, or just plain old area, see how there's 2 A's? That means you need a unit of squared on the top. And that just helped me. That was just one of the little things that really helped me. 25, whoops. All right, 2 more problems. This top one here, we have a cylinder. Let me just rewrite this. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi RH. Okay, so what we need is the radius and the height for all of these problems. When I look at this, the radius is halfway across the top. We have it all the way across. So they gave us the diameter. So if the diameter is 10, the radius is going to be half of that, which is going to be 5. The height is the distance between the top and the bottom, which is 12. We're all good to go. So the height is 12. Again, I encourage people, whoever, to write these out. 2 times 3.14 times our radius is 5, not 10, plus 2, there's pi again. The radius is 5 and the height is 12. All right, so this time I won't use a calculator. I'm gonna put my pi's, I'm gonna do my pi's last. So I'm gonna put the 3.14 here. 5 squared is 25, and I'm doubling that, so that's 50. On the second part of the formula, I am going to, again, keep my pi over here. And again, because this whole piece is multiplication, I can just do it in any order. So I pulled the pi out, and now I'm just going to go across. 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times 12 is 120. All right, and this is going to just make it a little bit easier. 3.14 times 50. That gives me 157. And then let's see, 3.14 times 120. That gives me 376.8. Add those two together, and you get 533.8 centimeters. And again, it's area, so I need centimeters squared. All right, final problem. They did actually give us the radius again, like the first problem that we did. So the radius is 5, and our height is 10. So again, I'm just going to plug it in, and it is surface area equals 2 times 3.14 times our radius squared plus 2 times 3.14 times the radius times the height. Okay, and again, I'm just going to type this all in my calculator again so that I can just get an answer here. And that will come out to be 471. Our units are centimeters. We're working for area, centimeters squared. All right. Sometimes they'll ask you to round up to a certain thing, like round to the nearest hundredth, something like that. And it's actually what I wanted to say before I go. If I just have a blank screen here, sometimes I'm not the best artist, but sometimes they'll have this. So just be careful of these pictures. The only thing is that with the 3 pictures we already did, the 3 problems, we're used to having a height that's up and down. But if you have a picture like this, our height is now here. All right, it's a cylinder that's laying down, and our radius would still be here. All right, so I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of worksheets and textbooks will do that. So it's just something to kind of be aware of. It doesn't make the problem any harder. Just kind of be aware. The radius we're talking about halfway across the circle, and the height is the distance between, quote unquote, the top and the bottom, or the 2 circles, I guess you can say. All right, I hope this helped you figure out how to find the surface area of a cylinder. Thank you.